Good afternoon, Numi Nation. Sorry for a slight delay. I'm scheduled to go at 5. Had a little technical difficulties. I am the last session of the day, which is the best and the worst. It's the best because I've had the opportunity to experience every session throughout the day and kind of look back with that high level view and kind of like wrap it all, seam it all together in kind of a single narrative. On the other hand, it's the end of the day and it's kind of like the wrap up for parents. It's not the exciting STEAM stuff and that kind of thing. So it's okay. I accept it. I look forward to as many users as possible jumping on live. And then, of course, this will be archived for you guys to view later. So Numinds.tv. Wow, what a fantastic first day. As you heard this morning from Justin kicking it all off, this is kind of our response to the current crisis. It's our way of taking our expertise and our passion, our own ikigai as a company, which is our purpose as a company, and contributing to the current situation. And this is how we turned it around in one weekend. We created several different slots that we thought you would love. It's really important for us to get feedback from you guys throughout this process to know how we can adapt and adjust. We're not doing this for us. We're doing this for you. We're doing this to fulfill a need for parents, for students, and for teachers as well. Okay, so I opened this session saying thank you and hello, Numi Nation. I love that phrase, and it means more than ever to me now. Numi Nation. I want to unpack that just a little bit because we have a very, very holistic concept at Numinds of what it means to be part of Numi Nation. So, how many of you tuned in to Mr. Walter's Around the World session earlier today? It was so cool. He had hopped on Google Earth and he was taking the kids on this world tour that ended up stopping in Costa Rica for some special stops. But one thing that always gets my attention on Google Earth, if you have it on the right setting, is that there are no national boundaries, right? These are illusory. These are human creations that we've sort of devised in sort of these geopolitical schemas. But if anything is crystal clear in this day and age, March 16th, 2020, is that these borders are very, very fluid and they're very illusory, right? So for us, Numi Nation is the globe itself. I have literally traveled around the world representing Numinds and representing myself. And I can say with total clarity and certainty that Numinds' values of real inspired learning are absolutely universal and global. You know, we go to Lebanon, we go to the Middle East, they want real inspired learning. We go to Argentina and South America, they want real inspired learning. We have our friends and partners in Africa, they want real inspired learning. That is what makes you part of Numi Nation. And this moment in history is an opportunity for many, many millions around the world to experience Numi Nation without limits. It's a little bit ironic that over the past 8 years since our founding, one of our differentiators has kind of been like it's a face-to-face experience. We really believe strongly in the power of human presence, of interaction, of body language, of kind of like these subtle nuances of, socialization that are really important. And we will always, always believe that. But this moment in history has kind of forced our hand and forced us to ask ourselves, can we take this Numinds magic and can we translate it into this online setting? And in a sense, it's kind of like we're being nudged to take this as global as possible, as quickly as possible. We're up for the challenge. That's what Numinds TV is about. So in case you just tuned in here, first of all, I'm sorry if this is the only Numinds TV that you tuned into today, because it's going to be the least exciting, but that's fine because you'll have the opportunity to hear from me a quick little summary of what you experienced today. The beautiful thing is you can go back anytime and look at the archived links on our Facebook page. We're currently in the process, as we're surfing this at 100 miles per hour, right? We're currently in the process of going live with Numinds.tv as the main landing page of this whole experience, okay? Don't go there yet, you're not gonna find anything, but we will make an announcement for sure when it's live, and that will be kind of like the more stable repository that we're gonna be putting out there. They'll be searchable and filterable by different criteria, a resource for you, for the world, right? So if you saw our daily schedule, and if you haven't check it out. It's going to be consistent all week, Monday through Friday this week, 9 to 5. Those slots are going to be absolutely consistent on the hour. Each day is going to be totally unique, although you'll experience the same inspirator. We call our teachers inspirators. Each session will be absolutely unique. So feel free to tune in to a session based on the topic. Oh, wow. Feel free to tune into a session based on the inspirator. If you have a special connection to Mr. Dorian or Mr. Adam or Miss Kristen or Mr. Justin. By the way, Mr. Justin and I are going to swap out that 4 o'clock slot where we go into the Numinds vault and pull some classics for you. Okay, so this morning, first thing, you heard Miss Kristen addressing parents, talking about the overwhelm, right? We are fresh into this really unprecedented situation where as a parent, as a teacher, you are faced with a brand new obstacle, and the overwhelm is extremely real. Miss Kristen gave you some really excellent strategies to get those things out of your head so you have the headspace to be in the moment to deal with the situation. And at the very close of my little session here, I'm going to give you another tool for that. Okay, so that was fantastic. So every morning this week at 10 o'clock, Miss Kristen will be there with some words of wisdom, with some tools, with some techniques, especially designed for parents. Okay. Then we had our first STEAM session with Mr. Dorian. His session this morning focused on camouflage. It was a very cool, very easy camouflage activity designed for the younger kids, but heck, it would be fun for anybody. You took a stuffed animal and the STEAM concept there was camouflage and animal adaptations, right? And you designed a background, an environment in which that animal could camouflage. Very cool, very simple. Go back and watch that one if you've got a younger one, especially who loves science, who loves animals, okay? Next, we had, this was really cool. I think this is really pretty unprecedented at the moment right now. We had STEAM in Espanol with Miss Catalina. She had this really mind-blowing art project called The Impossible Triangle. Here's what I want to emphasize. Although it was delivered, 90% in Spanish, the idea here is, and you are picking up the language naturally and organically, even if you're an English dominant speaker, don't be afraid to stick your kiddo down there in front of STEAM in Espanol. And it serves a dual purpose. Number one, teaching Spanish to kids who don't speak it, and serving our bilingual population. This is very important. And if we hear feedback that the demand is high for more bilingual sessions, by all means, that's what we're going to do. Okay, absolutely. That was a good session that focused on art today. Okay, early in the afternoon, we had Mr. Adam, the basics of role play. So we have this thing, like, right now, STEM and STEAM are so hot, right? They're the buzzwords. We have this little pet theory at Numinds that the real future of learning has to do with role play based learning. Okay, it doesn't mean STEM or STEAM's going away, right? But there's just something extremely powerful about narrative, and we happen to have on our team some real masterminds of role play based learning. And Mr. Adam is one of them, and he is the founder of our Dungeonverse shoot-off program. And in that afternoon session, the basics of role play, he's going to talk about these concepts of narrative design, character design, the power of learning through narrative. And I have to tell you, the little story time, he started to read the Chronicles of Narnia today at the end of his session. And oh my gosh, it was mesmerizing. I even texted him afterwards and said, "Hey Adam, could I live stream you into my bedroom at like 11 p.m. to just read a story?" Because that was fantastic. It took me straight back to being a kid and the magic of that nighttime story. Okay. Then I already talked about Mr. Walter Around the World. What a cool session. That session every day this week is going to focus on the global experience, about these sort of transparent boundaries that we can cross with this amazing interconnected world that we live in and the devices that we have in front of us. Mr. Walter is going to take us on little journeys. And today he focused on Costa Rica. He's from Costa Rica, so we got a real insider's view into, my favorite part personally was when he landed on the top of the volcano. That was really cool. I mean, Google Earth, how do they capture some of those images? It's really amazing, actually. And on top of the volcano, he landed on the volcano and kind of like, rotated around, and there were like people standing on the volcano, like, in their tourist, poses of awe from the moment. That was really cool. I can't wait to see the other places we'll visit with Mr. Walter this week. Then Dorian came back for a STEAM session focused on older kids. They designed a kind of a utility belt. Again, the goal here is we know that, you're in self-quarantine, you're in your homes. We're going to be encouraging and using materials that are really easy to find around the house, right? At least to start. Long term, as this evolves and develops, maybe there'll be materials lists that we recommend for parents and things like that. However, the goal this week is to keep it super simple, and show the Numinds philosophy has always been that STEM and STEAM is not about the money. It's not about the $1 million science labs. It's not about the ultra fast quantum computers. That's all fun, but you can do STEAM with a paperclip and a straw, right? STEAM is about the process of thinking and the process of problem solving with divergent thinking and a growth mindset. And that's what I want you to watch for all week long as you experience these sessions with your kiddos, is how are we encouraging a growth mindset? How are we encouraging divergent thinking and open-ended problem solving? These are the 21st century skills that we're trying to transmit into your home for your kiddos this week, okay? And then, of course, Justin and I are super excited about that final slot of the day, that 4 o'clock slot, where we're going to be pulling classics from the Numinds vault, from really successful Numinds courses over the years. Today, Justin recruited the help of his family, and his 2 girls were doing a blindfolded taste test. That's straight from our Chef Junior course, where they learn the science of taste, like all these like sour, bitter, umami. I don't remember. I'm going to have to go review the notes from the course, but they were experiencing those firsthand and then integrating those concepts. Fantastic. So every afternoon in that slot, we're going to be taking little excerpts from our classic courses and giving you a taste, okay? And if we have any parents or campus students out there who would want to make special requests, I'm sure the DJ can find that vinyl somewhere in the vault and pull it out this week, okay? All right, so finally, what I want to do is just take a little moment of reflection and share a couple of things. Number one, this is very, very interesting moment that may not come again for us in terms of the world slowing us down involuntarily, forcing us kind of back into our homes, back into ourselves for this intimate experience with our families, with our loved ones, maybe alone, right? And it's trying, it's stressful. We've never done this in our lifetimes, but at the same time, what an opportunity for a lot of things. One is to settle and rediscover some things that your busy life might have been distracting you from. For example, reading. So one thing I want to kick off today is I'd like to hear from people out there, like what during this time, which is open-ended. We don't know how long this situation is going to last. It's an again, those old-fashioned paper and cardboard contraptions, right? So this is one thing I'm going to share first. I would love to hear from you guys. One book that I'm digging into during this time is Atomic Habits by James. So a couple months ago, I developed a workshop called The Beauty of Imperfect, and I incorporated some of these concepts. And now I'm taking the opportunity to go even deeper and, taking notes and extrapolating. And one concept I really love from this book is the 1% rule. And it's this idea that when you're working on improving a habit, instead of focusing on perfection or the whole shebang at once, you focus on 1%. Can I improve this particular thing, this behavior, this habit 1% today? And the effect is exponential. And so what an opportunity during this time when most of us are going to be kind of enclosed. What an opportunity to focus on a particular habit or two and sort of watch that exponential growth, right? Is it meditating? Is it reading? Is it writing? Is it working in your garage doing carpentry? Is it knitting? I don't know. It's like, how are you going to use this time? How are you going to develop? How are you going to grow? So that's my share. And I'm going to have a lot more. I hope to get through several books. Actually, I would love to hear what any of you are going to dive into during this time. Okay. And I want to, I'm getting close to close here. So this session in general is the wrap up. So it'll be a little bit shorter each day. So, one thing, you call me superstitious, but one thing I like to do is go to the bookshelf and look for those books that are kind of like perennial classic troves of wisdom, and just grab them off the shelf, open to a random page, and just ask my intuition, all right, what's here from me today? Like, why did I open to that page? And just kind of let my intuition tell me, like, why. So today, I did it for us. I did it specifically with this in mind. The one I pulled off was my little pocket edition of the Tao Te Ching. Of course, the classic by Lao Tzu, the classic of Chinese Taoist philosophy, which is really universal. And you're going to think that I set this up, that I curated this, but I swear it's absolutely the truth. I pulled it. I opened up to section 47. Okay. I'm going to read it to you now, and you'll see how relevant it really is. Okay. Without going out of your door, you can know the ways of the world. Without peeping through your window, you can see the way to heaven. The farther you go, the less you know. Thus, the sage knows without traveling, sees without looking, and achieves without ado. Okay, I told you you're gonna accuse me of just handpicking that. I did not handpick that. I grabbed it and I asked the universe, all right, what's the world need this afternoon? I thought that was perfect. We're kind of like forced into this, not going out our front door, but at the same time, it's an opportunity to explore in a different way, which I think is fascinating and unique to this moment in history. So I promised I'd give one more tool, and this is piggybacking on Miss Kristen's session from this morning. So she was talking about the overwhelm and, giving yourself like the tool and the freedom to sort of catch yourself in those moments when you are feeling upset, angry, frustrated, and just giving yourself permission to feel it and to name it. And so what I want to do is take that one step further and say, okay, what's a tool that I can use in that moment throughout the day to bring myself back to the moment. Okay. If you've been to any of my workshops, kind of like a meditation nerd. I like breath work. I like meditation. So this is a very simple one that I've done in a lot of my workshops that I want to share now. It's a simple breathing technique called 4-4-7. There's different variations. I like 4-4-7. I think those numbers are easy to remember. 4, 4, and 7 just stand for the number of seconds that you're going to count in your head as you breathe in, hold in, and exhale. So the 4 is an inhale. And I'm going to hold for 4 seconds. And I'm going to exhale for 7. You can call it a biohack if you want, but there's something about when the exhale is longer than the inhale, you're triggering your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the opposite of the fight or flight. A lot of us around the world in this moment are in fight or flight mode, including your kiddos. So a simple breathing technique like this to just zap us back to the moment in a gentle way is invaluable, right? So the 4-4-7, I want to leave you with that. Try it. No one even has to know you're doing it, right? They might notice you're exhaling. It's just an inhale, a hold, and an exhale. It's like magic. Okay, so I want to leave you with that. Please tune in tomorrow. Check that daily schedule. Again, if you can't hop on live to all those sessions, they're going to be available throughout, not just throughout the day, forever. We're going to archive them. We will make a big announcement when Numinds.tv is live. So stay tuned there. Stay tuned to the Numinds Facebook page for any updates. But for this week, you can 100% count on that daily schedule on the hour, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. All right, Numi Nation, stay healthy, stay calm, and we'll see you tomorrow.